It is probably fair to say that nobody likes wearing face masks. But we wear them. So look, I have mine here. And hang on now.
Looks a bit mouldy, actually.
No, hang on.
Oh, hang on. Have I got mine?
I'm going to see if I can actually stomach to wear this for any length of time. Yeah, I find it very difficult to wear these things, but I'm going to wear it for a while because we want to have a conversation about wearing face masks. As it stands here in Ireland, they are still compulsory to wear indoors and on public transport. But is it time to relax the rules on mask wearing, considering nearly 30% of the country is now fully vaccinated? And in fact, by the end of this week, I'll be fully vaccinated myself. By the end of next week, Jeremy will be fully vaccinated. So is it time, particularly for those who are fully vaccinated, to take off the face masks? From yesterday, for example, in Denmark, masks are no longer required except on public transport during rush hour and for standing passengers. And that requirement will subsequently be lifted on the 1st of September. Israel has also lifted mask restrictions indoors with some exceptions. People on flights, for example, and unvaccinated people and workers in care homes looking after the vulnerable. So, with that in mind, I want you to send me a WhatsApp to 085 825 2626. That's 085. Oh, I have to take this thing off. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them. I hate them.
That didn't last long at all.
No, I don't have to wear it here, and I'm not. So, 085 825 2626 is our WhatsApp number. Is it time, particularly for those who are fully vaccinated, for us to get rid of the face masks? That's what we want to hear from you. Let's go to our first caller. And like I said, send us a WhatsApp to 085 825 2626. Is it time to remove the face masks? That's the question we want to ask. And if you're somebody who has a strong opinion on this, whether we're going to agree with you or not, send us a WhatsApp to 085 825 2626. Now, Pete, good morning and welcome to Opinions Matter.
Good morning, Maz. How are you?
Good, thanks, Pete. Well, Pete, is it time to ditch the face masks?
No.
No.
Quite simple, no.
Why not?
Because we've still got cases of COVID every day. You know, it's not as if we've eradicated the whole virus. You know what I mean? Not like New Zealand and all that, where they've literally got rid of it, and Australia and whatnot, and they are able to go walk around the streets and go to concerts and stuff without masks because there's no virus to spread.
Mm-hmm.
We still have the virus here. It's a bit of a no-brainer, really. You know, okay, everybody, look, the summer's here. It looks great outside. You know, we're getting vaccinated on a nice, quick, you know, sort of turnaround now. So why not just go out and just turn it all upside down?
Okay, but you just heard me wearing one a couple of minutes ago, and obviously I wear it going into shops, and I was on the bus the other day. I wore it on the bus and all of that. Now, I hate wearing them. I think we all hate wearing them.
Why do you hate wearing them? I'm wearing one at the moment. I've been wearing it for the last 15 minutes just to see how long I can wear it indoors for. Why do you hate wearing them? Why do people get so obsessed about a bit of material that goes over your face? You know, there are people who work in jobs who have been wearing it from the start of their career, who just wear it every day. Dentists, doctors, you know, vets, veterinary nurses, all those type of people in old folks' homes. They've had to wear them every day in work, and you don't hear them moaning about it. What is the big deal?
There's a difference between wearing them in work where you're in a position that you kind of have to for safety reasons, for health reasons. It's a completely different matter walking around Lidl having to wear one.
Why, does it really bother you?
Yeah, it really does. It absolutely wrecks my head, yeah.
For the 15 minutes that you're in Lidl, it really, really annoys me.
It really annoys me, yeah, it really annoys me. But Pete, you're saying that it is too early for us even to be having that conversation.
You know, I have to agree with Jeremy there, right? It doesn't take much to wear. I wear glasses all the time, like all day, every day, and they fog up, but I still wear it. it's not the worst thing in the world. I can guarantee you that there's a lot more worse out there. Like, I go into the super, I wear a mask in my job until I'm working, until I finish with my customer, and then I work.
No, we've lost him. It's because of the mask, is it?
Because he was wearing a face mask. Actually, can I take this mask off now?
Yeah, no, there you go. I rest my case.
Just because my voice is all muffled on the things. That's the only reason. But I don't.
You actually sounded better with the thing on. But anyway,
I just don't get the big deal. I've never got from day one the fact that there was even an anti-mask movement. The fact that people set up a movement to complain about wearing a bit of cloth over your face. By the way, which has been proven to work. I saw a fascinating video the other night on YouTube which explains the whole thing. I mean, it's quite simple. It's all about particles and particles in the air. And I saw a video that someone recorded in a dark room with a night vision. And he basically recorded himself shouting, okay? And with the night vision camera, it would pick up the particles in the
yeah, I've seen videos like that.
In the air. So he was shouting without the mask on, and you could see the particles, the droplets going through the air. Then he put the mask on and he started shouting, and there were no droplets. So the science on this is quite simple. Masks prevent the spread.
Okay, well, let's talk about the man I was talking to last night. I was down in my local for a pint, and I'm outdoors, sitting in the outdoors, and I got talking to an older man that I've known for years. And, you know, how are you getting on, and you're fully vaccinated and blah, blah, blah. And that was the conversation I had with him. And he was delighted to be back out having a pint in his local. Yeah, it's great to see. However, I said, you know, you're obviously delighted to have the vaccine and everything else. And his answer was, what's the point when I still have to wear this stupid mask? Now, he's right.
Okay, so he's been fully vaccinated. He's done what he was told.
And fully vaccinated for 8 or 10 weeks at this stage.
Okay, so he was doing as he was told. He was being a good boy, got the vaccine and all that, and he doesn't see any benefits of
That's
that.
Exactly it.
Well, one of the benefits he sees of it is that he's able to sit outside and have a drink now that the pubs are back open. So, like, does he, what age is he?
He's in his mid to late 70s.
Okay, so we'd be nearly in the vulnerable stage. And would he feel safe?
He feels safe now that he's vaccinated. Okay. He's not worried about getting sick. He wants to get his life back. He wants to be able to leave or take the mask off, leave the mask off, and get on with his life. And this is a man in his 70s, and like you said, he's in, you could argue, the vulnerable category. Let's have a listen to this WhatsApp voice note that has just been sent in to us from Matthew.
The only problem, like what Denmark did and all that, if we done that over here, I know for a fact that you'll have somebody who's not vaccinated, they'll say they're vaccinated, and like we'll just say, oh no, you're not going to see any of my personal information, you know what I mean? So that's why you can't, because you can't be sure if that person's going to be vaccinated. I guess that's the way I think about it anyway.
All right, thanks very much indeed. 085-825-2626 is our WhatsApp number. Is it time for us to ditch the face masks? As I said, talking to that older man last night, he is fully vaccinated for weeks. Obviously, he's delighted to get back out and have a pint in his local, but the point is, he wants the mask gone. He just has had enough of wearing it. He's fully vaccinated, and he wants to be able to get on with his life. Should he not be able to get on with his life? 085-825-2626.
Need to stop you there for a second with the dramatics. And the dramatics that are coming from other people as well. He wants to get on with his life. You can get on with your life perfectly well by wearing a face mask. Okay,
but here's a man in his 70s who's never had to wear a face mask before.
It's not impeding on your life in any way whatsoever.
Hang on, it is impeding on this man's life.
To suggest that you can't get on with your life because you have a face mask on you, boo bloody who. It's a face mask. You put it in your pocket, you take it out every day when you go out. Your life isn't being impacted in any way. You're not going to end up with some sort of long-term mental illness because you had to wear a face mask.
Okay, but if I'm to get really technical about this, yeah, you are not even 2 meters from me.
Oh, here we go. We're in a bubble. So
okay, but you're not even 2 meters from me. Put the mask back on.
You want me to put the mask back on?
Even though both of us have been vaccinated. Not fully, but both of us have been vaccinated.
No, we're doing it because we work together and we decided at the start of this that we're in each other's bubble. But what I'm saying is this dramatic attitude that people are coming out about, this narrative has to stop, that, we want our freedom back with the mask. Is that thing really taking away your freedom? Because if you think this piece of material is taking away your freedom, you need to live in a country where you actually have no freedoms. It's ridiculous.
085 825 2626 is our WhatsApp number. We really want to get you involved in this conversation. The reason we're talking about it is that as of yesterday in Denmark, and Denmark is a country very comparable to Ireland, similar population, similar vaccine rollout, and they have, as of yesterday, ditched the wearing of masks except on public transport during rush hour. Only during rush hour. 085 825 2626. Now, Mick, good morning to you.
Morning, Adrian.
Mick, do you think it is time to ditch face masks?
Yes, definitely.
Why?
Definitely. The reason is there's been studies of late, especially one was in Denmark and others in America, that say that masks didn't do anything to prevent COVID. You can actually Google it up to say. And the way, and you look at the states in America like Texas, Alabama, Florida, Tennessee, and some of the Republican states and all that who's removed the mask mandates, and their infections at an all-time low as well. And people say it's down to vaccinations and all that, like so. But they're able to walk the streets and to facilities without having to wear a mask, and the infections at a low rate. So yeah, I think definitely.
Okay, so as far as you're concerned, we've come far enough now. We've enough people vaccinated. It's time to get rid of the masks.
I say you probably still have to wear a mask in public transport and all that, like, but walking the streets and shopping and all that, like, no.
Okay, so you want to not have to wear one walking around Lidl or Tesco or whatever.
It's up to the individual, but me personally, no, I wouldn't wear a mask now.
And are you vaccinated?
I'm fully vaccinated.
You're fully vaccinated. Okay. So and this is the conversation, as I said, I had with an older man in my local last night. He's in his mid to late 70s and he wants rid of the mask. He's had enough. He just doesn't want to wear it anymore. And he's been very compliant all the way through the lockdowns and everything else. But he wants, if you like, a vaccine bonus and not have to wear the mask anymore.
No, unfortunately, you get these corona bros out there who still insist to wear masks even when you're fully vaccinated as well.
Well, no, you see, Mick, you have a problem there in that a doorman or a barman at a bar or someone else, a security guard at a shopping centre, they can't start policing this and, checking people when they're going in the door. Are you fully vaccinated? Please show me your cards. They don't have time to do that. Can you imagine at the entrance to Stephen Green Shopping Centre, someone standing there looking to see vaccination cards before they let people in without a mask on? That's not feasible, though, is it?
Well, but also by law, they're not. People are working in shops are not allowed to tell people to put the mask on either by law. It's down to security and all that. It's down to health and safety thing. Now I found that out because when my wife did her training for COVID training last year, they were told that they weren't allowed to approach people to put masks on either.
All right, do me a favour, Mick, stay there for 1 second. Let me bring in some more calls and WhatsApps. 085 825 2626 is our number. This is Laura.
Good morning, lads. Yeah, I definitely 100% think that the face mask should be optional now. If you want to wear one, wear one. But with half the country getting vaccinated, I think they should be optional now. Okay,
optional, she says. Now, Dave, good morning to you.
Hey lads, how's it going?
Good, thanks, Dave. They should be optional at this point. What do you say to that?
I can see where she's coming from, all right, but I still think you should wear them because you can never be too safe. You can still, even if you are fully vaccinated, you can still carry it. I haven't got my vaccination yet. I'm waiting for it to be. I'm waiting for the text message at the moment to get the first one. But if I'm in Lidl and say, Adrian, you catch it and you're fully vaccinated, and you don't have a mask on, and then you're coughing in the air, that means I'm going to get it. they're going to pass it to me.
Well, now, in fairness, I wouldn't just walk around coughing in the air, but yes, I take the point.
Some people do. And if you look at the Asian cultures, for years we mocked them. We mocked Chinese people, Japanese people, because you would see photographs of them when they'd be on holidays or when they came to Ireland, and they'd be wearing masks. Long before COVID was even a thing, it was standard for Asian people to wear masks because of the bad air, and also because I suppose Asian people were more germ conscious. I'm a germ conscious person.
How come you never wore a face mask before now then?
Because I would have been mocked.
How come you didn't walk around with hand sanitizer in your pocket?
I always did.
No, you didn't. Don't tell lies. You did not. No, you didn't.
Well, yes, I did. I wouldn't even touch the door handle on a toilet.
That's different. But you didn't walk around constantly washing your hands.
No, not constantly washing my hands, but I always had germs sanitizer. And I think, you know, the one thing that COVID will do is some people will never go back. COVID has done is made us more conscious of viruses and germs. And you look at the fact that how few people got the flu the winter just gone, because people are more germ conscious. And when you think about it, the things that people used to always do, you know, they'd get on the Lewis and they'd hold a handrail and then they'd pick up a chicken roll in their hand and eat it. Hopefully that will never come back, because we do need to be more germ conscious.
Okay, so you're not going to blow out birthday cakes anymore, no?
Well, I always thought that was disgusting.
But you still did it.
Yeah, but the thoughts of eating a birthday cake with spit all over it just never appeared.
Okay, Dave, tell me what you have to wear every day.
I wear a respirator. I'm actually I'm a spray painter. So basically, like it looks like a big gas mask in World War II. It has the two big filters on the side, and it covers your whole mouth and whole nose. And I'm wearing that for about 7 hours a day. So, like, when people start, like, you know, kind of saying, "Oh, I have to wear my mask and to live, oh, I can't breathe," this thing. It's actually, there's nothing to it. Like, it's just a little piece of material over your nose and your mouth. Like, there's not.
Okay, but let's just, and I've seen the photograph of what you wear, and it's fairly severe, but you're a spray painter, and obviously you can't be inhaling the fumes from the paint and everything else. Yeah. So I understand why you have to wear that. Now, what about that man I was talking to last night? He is fed up. He is in his 70s, didn't leave his house for a year. Now he's back out, he's fully vaccinated, and he just hates wearing the mask.
Well, I mean, I hate wearing my mask to work, but I still have to do it. Like, you know, I know he's vaccinated, he's fully vaccinated, but, you know, to keep people safe, like, I mean, he can still carry the virus. You know what I mean? So until it's kind of nearly totally eradicated, which I don't think it's ever going to be totally gone, like, we're just going to have to learn to live with it. Like. But I still think, like, even if it is kind of eradicated, I kind of think now that I might just keep wearing my mask out in public anyway.
Will you?
Yeah, I actually, but there's nothing to it. Like, I mean, as I said, like, I mean, I've got 3 kids at home, and my kids haven't been sick once this year. Like, since the first lockdown, they haven't been sick one time. But
no, and I can say the same for myself. In fact, in the last year, since COVID became a thing, I don't think I've ever been healthier. I haven't gotten as much as a sniffle in the last year, thank God, and all that. But I haven't, and maybe that's because I'm wearing a mask. But mind you, having said that, I don't tend to get sniffles very often, anyhow. But you believe that wearing the masks is keeping us healthier, full stop, regardless of COVID?
I do, yeah, absolutely, yeah. Like my lads have masks. Now, I have a 10-year-old and I have an 8-year-old and a 2-year-old, but she's only just wears it to be cool with the lads, you know. But they've got the option to wear theirs if they want, and they're actually starting to wear theirs out now and in around. Like,
how old are they?
My 2 eldest is 10 and 8.
No, I have to be honest with you, and I've said this is a conversation I've had before with Jeremy. I just can't stand seeing young kids with masks on. I hate it.
Yeah, now they have, like, they don't. I'm not saying to them, you know, you have to put the mask on.
No, but they just become conditioned to wearing them. Yeah,
to them, you know.
Yeah, they've just become conditioned. I know this is something Jeremy and I have disagreed on.
My son is 6 and has worn a mask from day one, and I don't think in 20 years' time he's going to be seeing seeking mental health problems, or he's going to be going to a psychiatrist because daddy and mammy made him wear a mask at 6 years of age. Again, that's another thing that the other side like to put out to try and scare people and to try and instill fear to people. Kids are very, very resilient, and they take the things very easily. And to suggest that kids are going to be mentally damaged.
I didn't say they were going to be mentally damaged. I just think it is so unnatural, abnormal, and I genuinely do believe it'll have a lasting effect on kids. But anyway, we'll not have that conversation now. But I wanted, so okay, Dave. This week, hopefully, touch wood, by the end of this week, I will have had my second vaccine. I'll be fully vaccinated. I'll be good to go. And if I choose, because obviously it's all about ourselves, if I were to choose this week, and by the way, I'm not an anti-masker by any stretch of the imagination, haven't been at all. I have genuinely thought that the people who jumped on that bandwagon and all of that just weren't playing ball with the rest of us, okay? However, we're now in a very different space that by the end of this week, I'll have my second vaccine. If I choose to take the risk, is that not okay for me?
Yeah, no, it is. Like, it's up to you. You're fully vaccinated. Like, that's fine. You've done everything that you can do. But I still think, well, personally, I still think that you should probably wear it until the numbers go right down, because you can still carry it, like, and pass it to other people. Like,
all right, stay there for 1 second. Let me bring in some more calls. If you want to get involved in this conversation, please send us a WhatsApp to 085 825 2626. 085 825 2626. Stephen sent us this message in, and it says, bin all of them. It's a tool to keep the facade alive and wait for all those so-called variants and booster jabs. We will told if keep following these pathetic rules. Oh, we will be told, I assume. Stephen, that was you that sent that message in.
It was indeed, yeah.
You want to see an end. Hello? You want to see an end to mask wearing.
Mask wearing and everything, and just the word itself, I just feel like that we don't need it anymore. If all the elderly are protected, let's just carry on the way it was.
And like I said, this was a conversation I had with a man in his 70s yesterday. He is delighted to be getting back out to have a pint and all of that, and he just doesn't want to wear the mask anymore. You think that man should have a right to say, no, I don't want to wear it anymore?
Definitely, yeah, because I've been talking to this lads similar at that age as well over the last weekends, and they're all the same. That's what you just feel rude just telling them, well, look, I just feel like telling them, just take it off them, but obviously they want to just go by the rules. So
in fact, with this particular man, he obviously wanted to go to the loo, and you have to go inside to go to the loo, but you have to wear your mask going inside to go to the loo. And that's actually how the conversation came up with him yesterday. He just said, I just can't be doing with this anymore. And again, he wouldn't be an anti-masker.
Yeah, it's like yourself sitting there with them on, you just want to take them off. And look, if we just keep wearing them all the time, it'll just become normal.
Okay. I know, and in fact, let me just deal with that for 1 second, and let me go back to you. Sorry, what's that? Dave, if we continue to wear them, this will become normal. Does any of us want this to become normal?
No, I don't think so. I think everyone just wants to get back to kind of where we were, but I don't think it's going to go back to where we were. We're just going to have to learn to live with this, and we're going to have to wait till everybody's vaccinated.
But that's only a matter of weeks away.
Yeah. But,
I mean, realistically, this week they're going to start advertising for people in their 30s to come forward for the vaccine. Another 3 weeks after that, you'll be down to the 20s. By September, we'll all be done.
And do you think that, does people think that, like, once everybody's vaccinated, this is just going to go away?
No, but it won't cause any harm anymore. That's what the vaccine will do. It won't. People won't be ending up in hospital. People won't be ending up very sick. They may still contract it, but they're not going to end up very sick from it. That's what the vaccine is for.
Yeah.
So
until the flu comes again.
Until the flu comes again, exactly.
A question for you, Stephen, then. The next time you're going to your dentist to get a filling done, how would you feel if the dentist wasn't wearing a face mask?
That's a completely different conversation.
I just want to ask a question. How would you feel if the dentist...
Well, a dentist wearing a face mask has become normal for us for years and years, so we'll just go with that.
Okay, but why does a dentist wear a face mask?
Because it's germs, isn't it?
Yeah,
to be fair, yeah,
absolutely.
But we don't need to live in germophobia land everywhere, do we? The dentist, we can.
Let me ask you then, Jeremy. You were up until a point in time out DJing, yeah?
Yes, I was.
And DJing in packed venues with people leaping all over each other. If I were to tell you tomorrow you can go back to DJing again, but everyone's to wear a face mask in a nightclub, how ridiculous is that? Think about that logically now for a second. You've to stand there with a face mask on. All the punters on the dance floor giving it loads have to wear a face mask.
No, absolutely ridiculous. Nobody is suggesting that. When we come to the point that nightclubs can open, hopefully by the end of the summer, of course people shouldn't wear face masks. But there are times, even before COVID, where I've gone, where you're in a crowded and people are coughing.
Just walk away.
You know, when you're on the loose,
just walk away.
Coughing, and a lot of people have filthy manners, and they'll just cough and
no, I agree with
over you and stuff like that. And if you feel comfortable, people shouldn't be shamed for continuing to wear a mask. As I said, the Asians have been doing it for years. And if you feel safer wearing a mask, you shouldn't be ridiculed for doing it. If you want to protect yourself.
Nobody's ridiculing anybody. If you want to wear a mask for the rest of your life, you be my guest. But the man that I'm talking about from the pub last night has had enough. He's got his vaccine. He wants a little bit of a bonus for having gotten his vaccine, and that bonus should include not having to wear a face mask when he goes to the Jackson as local. I mean, honestly, he's just had enough.
Jeez, it sounds like this man that you met for a pint last night. It sounds like he was distraught that his life has been turned upside down.
Yeah, he was actually.
Really?
Yeah. Kathleen.
Hi guys, my name's Kathleen. I've had 3 long infections over these masks. I have my 2 vaccinations now with weeks. I've been to the casualty 3 times and I'm a very bad asthmatic. The doctor there told me, a young doctor, it was the masks. He was also an asthmatic and he'd wear them and he wasn't well over them either. I think they're causing terrible skin problems. They're causing breathing. He said, the infections I was getting, I keep inhaling back in the infection. I think it's ridiculous that we still have to wear them. Ridiculous.
085 825 2626 is our WhatsApp number. Keep your messages coming in to us. Is it time, particularly for people who are fully vaccinated, to ditch the face mask? This is Deborah.
I thought the whole idea of wearing the face mask and getting the vaccination was that you were still a carrier. You could be still a carrier of the COVID when you are fully vaccinated. Thanks, Deborah.
All right, Deborah, thanks very much indeed. 085 825 2626 is our WhatsApp number. This is Siobhan.
Yeah, but the whole point is still to protect others who aren't vaccinated. I mean, you mightn't get very sick, but you can still transmit it, still pass it on to someone else. So, like, I myself am pregnant and I haven't been vaccinated, so if you all go around little without your masks on, you're putting me at risk.
Are we, though? If you're fully vaccinated? 085 825 2626.
Did you even listen to what she said? Replay the message there and take it in.
I did listen to it.
No, you didn't.
Okay, listen again.
My 27-year-old and my 20...
Oh, no, sorry, that's not it. It was Siobhan's one.
Yeah, but the whole point is still to protect others who aren't vaccinated. I mean, you mightn't get very sick, but you can still transmit it, still pass it on to someone else. So, like, I myself am pregnant and I haven't been vaccinated, so if you all go around little without your masks on, you're putting me at risk.
Okay, so I did listen to her message. The fact of the matter is that when I'm in Lidl, I'm not jumping on top of people anyway. I'm not coughing in people's faces anyway.
There are a lot of, at any given stage, there are thousands and thousands of women who are pregnant, and many have been advised not to get the vaccination during the first trimester, which she could be going through the first trimester at the moment, and she is probably nervous, and she has a right to be nervous. She's unvaccinated. She can't get the vaccine because she's going through the early stages of pregnancy. Why should that woman be made feel unsafe going in to do her shopping because you don't want to...
085 825 2626. Keep your messages coming in to us, please. Now, Dave, good morning. Welcome to Opinions Matter. Dave, is it time to ditch the masks, particularly for people who are fully vaccinated?
Honestly, I think we should have ditched them a couple of months ago, really. Because
okay, but we didn't.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, but nobody since the start of all this has been wearing them properly anyway.
I agree. I agree. Wearing them under their nose and all of that, yeah.
But not even that, but the way you're handling it. Like, I was shown by a nurse in a hospital how you take the mask out, how you put it on. They said, if you touch the middle of it, I have to give you a new one because if there's that on your hand, you can touch it, you can spread it, you can breathe it in. And I mean, you see people pulling masks out of their pockets and shaking the dirt off them before they put them on. And I've also found as well, after the masks came in, I noticed when you go to the shop, like particularly before the mask mandate came in, people were a lot more cautious. There was a lot more washing hands. There was a lot more keeping your distance from people. But when the mask thing came in, people became more complacent. Do you imagine
I wouldn't disagree with that point, I have to say. I think people, as soon as they had to wear the masks, they're much more likely to come very close to you. They're much more likely to be in your space, if you like.
But they're also touching the masks and touching other things as well. And so the whole idea of keeping your hands clean, don't be picking stuff up and putting it back down, that just went out the window. I mean, and as well, like if you want to wear a mask, knock yourself out. I mean, some of the masks I've seen people wear are actually pretty cool.
They are pretty cool. Yeah, I agree.
If you want to do it, and if it's become a new fashion statement, knock yourself out. But I just think at this point now, especially with how far ahead we were with the vaccinations and stuff, there's no need of it. Like, we went for dinner Friday night, and I had to wear a mask walking through the pub to the outdoor area. And then once you sit down, you can take it off. But if you go to the toilet, you can put it back on and stuff like that. Yeah, there was a person behind me, and if I had to reach around, I could have touched their shoulder.
Yeah, and like I said, that's the exact conversation that I had with a man in our local yesterday, in his 70s, fully vaccinated, not only fully vaccinated from weeks ago, and he wants to be able to go and have a wee in the jacks without having to wear his mask.
Yeah, no, I've noticed, I don't know if like in Dublin, but I've noticed down the country now, especially out in your country pubs, they're not as I can walk into my local takeaway if I forgot my mask, and they're not going to eat me for it. Or if I'm going into my local to get a pint, and I forget to put my mask on walking in, nobody really says that, So it's on the way out as it is anyway. But again, look, if you want to wear a mask to feel safe, go right ahead. But I was up the Galway Mountains about 2 weeks ago, and there were people at the top of the mountain wearing masks. It's just got to be kind of comical now at this point.
All right, 085 825 2626 is our WhatsApp number. It's just gotten a bit comical at this stage, is what he said, Jeremy. And it has, hasn't it?
I suppose so. I understand that people are fed up. And, as you said, it's been a year and a half since, we had to start wearing masks. And by the way, regardless of what happens in shops and stuff like that, I think it's going to be a long time before they allow people on planes without face masks. I honestly think...
Okay, but that's a choice you make to hop on an airplane. You don't have to get on an airplane. You do have to go into a supermarket. You have to.
Forgetting about the supermarket thing, but you also... By the way, you don't have to wear a face mask if you go into the cinema.
Do you not?
Yeah, you wear it until you get to the... No, you couldn't eat popcorn if you had a face mask on you. How would you eat popcorn through a face mask? But you do have to wear it when you're going up to the seat. And once you're in the seat, you can take the face mask on. It probably is something that we're just going to have to get used to.
No.
Oh, okay.
We're going to follow the lead, and we need to follow the lead of countries like Denmark. As I said, Denmark is a country with a comparable population, with a comparable vaccine rollout, who've made a decision as of yesterday that you don't have to wear a face mask unless you're on public transport at rush hour, by the way, only when it's packed. Other than that, you don't have to wear a face mask indoors.
Yeah, it's gas. I was watching one of the Euro matches the other day, and when a goal was scored, I can't remember what country was playing, but when a goal was scored, the camera went to the one of the stands in the stadium, And you could see all the supporters, and they had their masks on. They were doing very well. They had the mask on. And as soon as their country scored, they ripped the face mask on and started screaming, yes! And all I'm thinking is, what is the point? You've just undone, and I understand that you got caught up in the moment, but you've just undone all the good that you did an hour beforehand. And as a lot of people are pointing out as well, a lot of people don't know how to wear the face mask properly. They don't even keep them over their nose.
That's true. 085 825 2626. Now, this is Aisling.
My 27-year-old and my 20-year-old are both fully vaccinated. Can you imagine if they went around with no masks, what people would say to them and the abuse they'd probably get? Now, both wear the masks anyway, no problem. One wears them. The 20-year-old who has severe heart defects wears them in work all day with his glasses, never had the problem anyway. But so if they're saying, like, let the vaccinated people not wear them, well, how are you going to know who's vaccinated and who's not? As I said, a 20-year-old and a 27-year-old, people aren't going to believe that they're fully vaccinated anyway.
All right, Aisling, thanks very much indeed for your message. Noreen, good morning to you. Hello, Noreen. No, she's not there for some reason. Okay, we'll try and get her back in a second. Let's have a listen to this from Brian.
Do people not understand that a vaccine does not stop you from getting it? It only stops you from getting badly sick from it, and it means you can still spread it if you do get it and you're not badly sick. It's not only to protect yourself, to protect everybody else. It's been the same the entire COVID. People think this vaccine is going to be a magical cure. It's not.
Okay, keep your messages coming in to 085 825 2626, like Lisa just did.
Hi, Adrian, this is Lisa. I'm just quite annoyed listening to people. How can they still not understand? Being vaccinated does not mean you can't get COVID. It does not mean you can't transmit it. So therefore you still have to wear a mask. The vaccination only reduces your risk of getting seriously ill or dying. It doesn't prevent you getting it. So therefore you have to wear a mask. It's logical. I don't see what the big issue is. Like, we're a year and a half into this, and you know, you still see people going around, they can't stand the 2 meters apart, they can't wear the mask properly. You know, it's not forever. There's not enough people vaccinated, so just wear the mask.
Okay, now, lads, says this message, we went for dinner the other night. You had to wear a mask walking to your table or to the toilet, but could take it off sitting down seated about 2 feet. And in fact, this is something that Dave said a couple of minutes ago. People are also picking up stuff, touching their masks. I've seen very few people using masks in the proper fashion, says Dave.
It's amazing the things that we went out for lunch as well the other day. It's amazing the things you pick up on that you never noticed before. I remember before Christmas, myself and the missus went out for a meal to one of our favourite restaurants. And when we sat down, they did it very well. They bring out the cutlery, but the knife and fork and the napkin are already pre-packaged.
Yeah, they're wrapped, yeah.
So they come out to the table and they hand it to you, and I thought to myself, that's lovely, pre-packaged. And the waiter or the waitress hasn't touched the cutlery. We're good to go. Then I finished my starter with the knife and fork, and the main course arrived out. Lovely chicken Kiev and chips.
Mm-hmm.
Chicken and Kiev and chips arrived out on the table, and I realised I just used my knife and fork. So I called the waitress over. Can I have a new knife and fork, please? Yeah, no problem. And she went away and came back and handed
it to you, yeah.
Her hands. And before, 2 years ago, you wouldn't have batted an eyelid about that. But now I find myself, and this is awful, and I'm sure many of you are the same. Everything you do and everywhere you go now, you are watching the way people are handling things. If someone is serving you a drink in a beer garden, are they putting their hand over the glass like that? Or are they handing it to you like that?
I'm not looking at all that stuff.
Okay, it's just me then.
It is. 085 825 2626. This is Darren.
Morning, lads. I thought the whole point of the vaccine and masks throughout this whole pandemic was to protect the vulnerable and the elderly. Now the elderly and the vulnerable are pretty much fully vaccinated, but we're not seeing any signs of rolling back on any of these measures that are affecting our everyday life. When are we going to see a bit of dividends, or when are we going to be able to go to a packed pub again or a wedding without any of these restrictions, walk around a shop without a mask? Cheers, Darren.
And this is the point that I was making, Jeremy, from that man, and I keep using him as an example.
Yep.
He's in the vulnerable category.
Is this man you, by the way?
No, it's not. It's not me. I'm not fully vaccinated yet. This man was in his 70s. This man is fully vaccinated. Yeah. He did what he was asked to do. He got the vaccine, and he wants a dividend for it. He wants a kickback. He doesn't want to wear a mask going to the Jacks.
The dividend is that he can drink outside.
He doesn't want to be doing that either. But
the dividend is that he can go to the cinema. The dividend is that in a couple of weeks he'll be able to go inside and drink in the pub
with a mask.
We are getting there. Can we just have a bit of patience? We're getting there.
Well, how are Denmark able to do it and we're not?
I don't live in Denmark. I don't know what the situation is.
I've already described Denmark, comparable population, comparable size, European country, similar weather, and they're ditching the masks except for busy public transport. Why can't we do the same?
You know what? I would gladly. It's all about compromising. It's all about toing and froing and a little bit of give and a little bit of take. I would gladly continue to wear a mask in a pub if it meant that the pubs could stay open till 1 o'clock. I mean, I have a problem with that. And there's a conversation for another day. I have a huge problem with the pubs only being allowed to serve up till 11 o'clock. What in God's name sense does that make? Does COVID stop?
Let's bring in some more messages. This is Tracy.
Hey, Adrian and Jeremy. Yeah, I get the whole is everybody's sick of wearing the masks and that, but I still think it's a bit too soon. I mean, yeah, there's some people fully vaccinated, but there's still an awful lot that are not fully vaccinated, and there is people still in their 60s and 70s who are waiting on their second AstraZeneca, so they're not covered. Like, I know I have a good few myself that are literally waiting for their second dose, so they are not fully protected. And then with the AstraZeneca, it's a little bit less of a protective vaccine, and mainly that age group is the one that have received the AstraZeneca. So I think it's still a little bit too soon. I mean, we've come this far. I don't think another few months, you know what I mean, it's going to kill us. It is hard for some people, like that man you're talking about, but like we're not wearing them really to protect ourselves. We're wearing them to protect the vulnerable, and you don't know who's vulnerable in the supermarket or in the pub or whatever. You don't know who's vulnerable. So it's not too much to ask really to pop the mask back on, and if you're going to the toilet, or keep the mask on if you're in the supermarket. Really, like, it is getting better. We all need to hang on to that. It's getting better. We're getting back to normal slowly but surely. So I definitely think until the majority of the country has their 2 vaccines, then we may be able to obviously get rid of the face masks, but just hang on in there.
Okay, so to the man in his 70s, Tracy, you're saying tough. Don't care if you had your full vaccination 10 or 12 weeks ago, tough. Wear your mask. Like I said, this is a man who has never in his 70-odd years had to wear one of these bloody things, and he's had enough.
Why don't you bring him home for dinner later?
Yeah, you wouldn't have to wear his mask. No, you wouldn't.
Oh, no masks in Kennedy Mansions?
Nope.